Hi, thank you for watching. Um, if you didn't watch the first video about the Eclipse REST API and the Postman API tool, I strongly recommend that you watch that video first. This video continues right after that. If you did watch the video, I hope you liked it. Some of you might have been like, hey, REST API, big deal, right? Lots of IoT devices serving REST APIs, and they're still stuck inside the building. If you have say for example an Eclipse controller, um, and this is your firewall, and you have um, say a client here. Well, the client won't be able to make calls directly to the Eclipse. So I think lots of people have been coming up with great ideas on how to create these pipelines that bring buildings outside. Um, Tech has obviously its own take on it, and I think it's an amazing project. If you start here on this page, go to the developer portal, which is where I am, and then agree, and then you'll be able to find this IoT Hub project wiki and instructions on how to configure this and set it up on the cloud so that you can use it as a relay. So in IT, there's lots of relays, right? There's DHCP relays. You could say that non-authoritative DNS servers are also relays in a way. Um, so the industry relies on being able to send data and relay data across domains, right? In different contexts. So this is a really slick way of following on that tradition, and it's basically a REST API relay, which is I think it's pretty cool. Um, so once you've gone through this, you should be able to end up with something like this. I have to give a major shout out to Robert from Distech Tech Support for helping me out getting this configured for the first time. So your names will likely be different. I'm gonna move this over to this screen for just a second. I'm gonna log into my IoT Hub. Then once you're in your IoT Hub, you'll want to go into Devices, and then you will need to add devices here manually. Um, w- this is an interesting thing. But for now, yeah, devices have to be added manually. Once you have this device here, then there's really not much you have to do. Just give a name and enable the connection to the IT Hub, and this will auto-populate from Microsoft. So once you have this, you can copy the primary connection string, go to your Eclipse, IoT Hub, edit the connection, and copy paste that connection string in there, and this should now be active, have active connection with the IoT Hub. And then back to Postman, couple of things here. I decided to use an environment because we're going to have to use OAuth. I always mess up that name. Basically, we have to use SSO authentication here. So we're gonna have to fetch these fields. Feel free to ask for help or check out the wiki. And I'm always available if you want to PM me. Happy to help. But in essence, you'll need this information in order to make, in order to authenticate requests to the cloud. And then under collections, this is the collection where I'm keeping these requests. Um, and right off the bat, this is how you have to configure authentication here. So this is more legit than what we were doing before. Um, and so these are the variables, and this is how you connect your, in Postman, how you connect your collection to your environment where you've got these variables set up. Here's the environment again, my variables that I need. And then under the collection that uses this environment at the moment and the calls that we're going to be making. And this is how we fill that in, that information. So I'm just going to purge my current tokens. Then I'm get a new token once you've got this configured properly. Get new access token. Proceed. I like to give the token sort of like a timestamp, so I know. Switch, use token. Syncing the token, I believe, allows other calls in the same collection to use it once you fetch that token and then send the request. So there it is. So there's a request. Um, Once you've managed this, obviously the URL is clear. And if you watch the last video, you see that how the domain varies. And then you'll have a number of standard headers here for your request, but there are two headers that are specific to this relay setup, which are the host and the remote query, which is the query belonging to the actual Eclipse REST API. So see one more query here. We send. There we go. So as you can see, we can now access all these devices from anywhere in the world, really. We can ping that building once we got the connection set up with the IoT hub. Um, the issue remains, in my mind, about onboarding and now making onboarding devices into the IoT hub a lot more efficient than it is in its current status. And I think there's going to be a third video about that. So thank you so much for watching.